Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the review. This time is the SH Figuarts Great Saiyaman, which is basically Gohan in his superhero disguise, which is really dope. And I'm kind of glad they did something new and something different. And it's refreshing to get it. The accessories, the heads, and all the things that he comes with make him an even more dope figure. I have maybe one minor gripe with the figure, but it's totally diminished in the fact that how great this figure is. So let's get into it, and you see why I enjoy it so much. Anyway, first things first, the one gripe I want to talk about, first of all, is the plastic cape. I think that is my only gripe with this figure, considering we are now in an age when everyone's kind of giving out fabric capes. It would have been dope to have a fabric cape. But I do realize why one wasn't done. And the reason why is because you wanted to be able to make his cape removable. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about it. You can actually rotate it up. You can rotate it side to side to manipulate little wind, but it comes out very easily. And the reason why is because it plugs in directly to this back piece that allows the soft plastic to go over a point to manipulate as if it was part of the figure, which is in itself actually a really great idea. It's just my preference to have cloth. Now, for those of you that enjoy plastic capes, you will not have a problem with this. It holds very tightly inside of the figure. Like I said, it rotates left and right, and it still photographs very beautifully. That is just my preference. Like I said, it's a minor gripe in terms of the figure, and the reason why is because it's just my preference. But it still functions great. It actually was done very good on the figure to the point where even without it, he looks absolutely wonderful. And you can see the points where the buttons would stab in. So it's all the cool things that they kind of added in that kind of, retroactively take it back from me, which is like, it's good. It's actually really, really good. So here he is. I'm going to use him without his cape. And one more thing I want to talk about is you're actually giving a small piece to cover up the back of that. So if you don't want to have that in, now it's seamless. Another great idea in terms of that. And that's the reason why I actually like this more and more. It's just really dopely done. So next up, we're going to talk about the articulation. So articulation wise, he can look up, he can look down, he can tilt left and right for expression. And this is just with the helmeted head. We're not even talking about the other three heads that he comes with, which is really dope. So the Great Saiyaman helmet is actually really well done. It's painted really well. It has a little nice gloss finish here where you can see it reflects very well. And I really like it overall. As far as the arm articulation goes, you actually get the standard 2.0 SHF butterfly joint. You actually get the bicep swivel. The arms are double jointed and it rotates all the way around. Same thing for the hand pegs. It is standard SHF practice, which I really, really enjoy. And as you can see, posing wise, he can get into it very, very easily. As far as upper torso articulation, you're getting your standard 2.0 articulation where you can actually raise it up to gain a little bit of height, but actually to gain forward ab crunch as well as momentum with turning. And you get a nice waist swivel as well. Now, as far as the legs go, I was worried about this soft plastic cape, considering it doesn't do all that much for me with the Star Wars stuff. But the Dragon Ball team, I guess, decided to fix the problems they would have had with soft plastic. So going outward, it doesn't poke out or break. It actually folds accordingly, which is really dope when you're doing splits. You have no hindered articulation going forward, none going backwards. The legs are double jointed. So you actually get a nice a bit of articulation with the figure that is not hindered in any way, which is something I really, really enjoy. You actually have a nice toe, well, not toe, but ankle pivot. And the thing about the ankle pivot, you want to be careful because you can actually rotate it backwards because the joint is actually on a curved. You can't really see it here, but inside it's actually on a curved tilt. So you have to be careful because, as you can see here, it rotates all the way out and back, and you can rotate it back forward. There's also toe articulation as well for the figure. I have to find a way to rotate that back. There we go. So yeah, as you can see here, rotated it back. So as you can see here, articulation wise, I can get Gohan, aka the Great Saiyaman, to a nice superhero pose without any issue. It actually looks very nice, very flush, very easy and to the point, and I like that a lot. One thing I want to talk about, you actually get an extra peg as well, because this is the wrist communicator that he uses, and you will get an extra part to use it without that. So let me actually change the focus so you can see. So you'll actually get one without it to change that. In fact, my light up a little bit. There we go. All in all, I am liking him the more I play with him. Let's leave you in a cool pose and talk about your accessories. So, for the Great Saiyaman helmet, you actually get an extra mouth plate. And this is the yelling head for the plate. When you want to do superheroic poses, when you want to scream out, or when you want to do your henshin pose, this is the plate that you swap out with this head. You also get extra antennas, should you actually break your antennas. And this is I think this is a funny running joke, because on Kamen Rider stuff, when your stuff has antennas for any of the Showa riders, which is kind of what he does his pose off of, based off of Rider 1, you actually, they give you extra antennas. So I thought this was dope that they kind of did that and threw that in. It's a little inside joke, at least to me it is. You get energy blast hands, or in this case, you get waving hands. You get 2 martial arts posing hands. You get 2 folding out palms. These go outward. And then you get your historic posing for the hands that go in, which you'll see in photos when I'm done. There's also a peg that shows you for the outer hand. The peg goes outward to help with the articulation for that. And this one goes inward. As you can see, it curves inward. So that's pretty cool. So that's it as far as the hands and accessories. And now I'm going to go over the heads. And for that, I'm actually going to stand him up and swap these heads on, so you guys can see the differences, because it actually makes him look different for once. So I'm going to pop this head off. And I'm going to put on one of my favorite heads, the Durag History head. So this one is really fun, and I'm glad they added this in. When Gohan couldn't get to his helmet, you know, he had his patented glasses and scarf combination. Like I call it, Durag with the flap out. You can actually rotate this going all the way around 360 degrees. So if you're doing any jumping poses, you can rotate it accordingly. This head only has one expression with the open mouth, so you can't do any swapping of it, but I think it's really dope to actually have this head in general, which is really great. Next up, we have a head that everyone was actually complaining about that I've seen, and I couldn't understand why. And I just want to shed some light on this one, at least in my opinion, because I actually went back and double checked it as well. The Sirius head, when he's unmasked, is really nice, but people didn't like that the eyes were so wide. Now, my thing about this is, at the time, Gohan was drawn this way purposely, because even when he got this costume and he went back and he did the Z-Sword training, he still had these kind of eyes that showed he was serious, but not really focused or hidden at his unlocking his latent potential between that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't until he became Ultimate Gohan that he actually got the more serious face. I could be wrong, but if I'm remembering, this is the serious face that he normally has until he unlocks the potential with the Z-Sword. And then Ultimate Gohan is the one with the more serious, closer to Goku's serious face eyes. But I'm pretty sure this was the normal face he had until then. Same being said when he turned Super Saiyan, which is really dope that they added his normal Super Saiyan / Super Saiyan 2 head. Now this is really good. I really like the way this head was done. Same for the black head, and I'm going to show you. So as you can see here, the head is obviously more serious because when you're Super Saiyan, you're supposed to be angered and enraged to unlock that. So you have serious, bigger eyes, smaller Super Saiyan eyes. You even see the stretch mark under the eyes, which I think it's great because they added it back to what it was to that time, which is really dope. All in all, I am a huge fan of this Gohan, aka the Great Saiyaman. They've done a great job of adding different accessories, updating the technology on this figure, giving it a lot of love in places where I didn't think they would. So I'm going to say this is probably one of the better later releases of the figures, and I hope going forward it's a lot more love thought into it as well. Because I know a lot of people have a love for Gohan, so it's good that he's getting some justice. I'm actually going to leave this head on for a bit while I do some size comparisons. So we're going to start with DBZ size comparison and then jump into other lines after. So let's leave the Super Saiyan head on. For all of you people who want to know what Gohan looks like with his previous counterpart, I am going to do that. Ooh, and I dropped some stuff, and that sucks. So let me actually find where my Gohan head went because it just fell. I'll find it in a bit. eventually, right? So first off, let's compare it with a swapped modded Gohan, which is on the Goku raised, Saiyan raised on Earth body. So I'm gonna do this one first because this uses the Goku body, and I swapped that around, so that's fine. So here he is actually with his older Ultimate Gohan body, the 1.0 body, which I'm hoping we actually get a 2.0 of eventually, so I don't have to do any head swapping. So as you can see here, this is the Ultimate Gohan body, the old one, the old 1.0 figure. He might be a tad bit taller hair-wise. And those of you who care about all Gohans, here he is with his old Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. So as you can see here, he is much shorter, and you can see the height, body-wise, he's gained. So let's get rid of all of you guys. So now we're going to do him with a Goku, Saiyan raised on Earth body, and a bunch of other characters. So here's Gohan with Goku. So you see it's a little bit more different. Let me just change it around. Oop, make sure you can stand. There we go. Here he is with Majin Vegeta, who is also from this story. As you can see, Vegeta's pretty tiny, but his hair makes up for a lot more. Then we're going to give you Majin Buu, or in this case, Fat Buu, because later on, we'll be getting Evil Buu, which is pretty cool because now we can do those two compared. As you can see, Buu is gigantic even in the background. Then we have Mr. Satan, which I'm actually going to move Goku over for, who has a luxurious afro. I don't know why he's not standing right now. There we go. So as you can see, height-wise, Gohan's still a tad bit taller, but Vegeta's hair is crazy big. Last but not least, I want to add him on with Gotenks, Frieza, and Barrios. And the reason why is because even though these characters never, well, Gotenks has been in met Gohan. The other two technically haven't met him in this state, but just in case you want to crush your stuff over, do some time traveling stuff, or you know, you just want to know general heights, here you are. Make sure you're standing straight. And then Frieza as well. So as you can see, height-wise, this is what it's looking like. Even if I put Frieza here side by side, you can see the Frieza is much more tinier, even smaller than Gotenks. So that's crazy. Next up, we're going to do Gohan next to some other scales. So here he is with another SHF, but a different franchise, which is Kamen Rider. So here we are with your main man, Kuga. They stand pretty well together. Next up, we have a Marvel Legends side Spider-Man. For all you Unicross, for all you universe hoppers who kind of just make up your own universe and enjoy your figures. Here he is with an articulated icons ninja. And here he is with a 1/12 scale synthetic human. All not bad, right? Last but not least, a Mezco and a Mythic Legion. And the reason why I'm using the Mythic Legion in this one is because I don't know if you remember in the Budokai Tenkaichi tournament, he fought those large dudes, and Mythic Legions would make great customs for those guys. So I use the orcs. So you could just imagine the customs that you would get with that. So give that a shot. And here he is with a Mezco, just for the sake of it. Oh, voila. So size-wise, we know where Gohan stands with both Dragon Ball and other lines. In the meantime, guys, hope you found it informative. Hope you enjoyed. And most of all, I hope you do good, be good, drink your water, guys. Later.